Welcome to the House on Fire podcast. Our aim is to light a fire for Jesus in the homes of those who listen through encouragement and equipping. Let's partner together to advance the gospel in the next generation. I am your host, Lucas Jackson, and I am passionate about seeing more people on fire for Jesus. When you listen to the House on Fire podcast, you'll hear from people you can rub shoulders with every week at Bethel Church, because all of our guests are from our church family. These are people striving to love God, love others, and to serve the world. Hey guys, thanks for joining us on this episode today. I'm really excited to have Andre with us. Andre, thanks for being on, man.
Woo woo. Thank you, Lucas.
Yes, sir. So just to get it going, as per normal here, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family so folks can just have an idea of who you are and what's going on in your life.
Yeah. Well, I am 23, so I've been out of the house for a few years now.
Yeah.
But I still come back home to my family often throughout college. I come from a big family. I have 5 siblings, so...
That's a big family.
Yeah, it is a big family. But my family's always come to Bethel, and so, yeah, that's kind of where that has happened. I'm the fourth of 6, so I have 2 younger siblings that are still in high school, and then 3 that are older, and one is still in Fargo, and then 2 are in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. And you grew up a little bit out in the country, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's still in town, right?
It's still in town.
Okay, I always forget that.
Not on a farm, but basically surrounded by farmers.
Yeah.
So we live in Hendrum, Minnesota, which is just 30 miles north of Moorhead.
Yeah. On
that Highway 75.
Yeah.
So
and very cool.
Yeah.
And then tell me, let's see here. You have 2 younger ones, and they're still here and all that. Oh, but when did you guys actually come to Fargo? Because I believe your parents were overseas for a bit.
Yes. Yeah. So my parents used to be missionaries to Japan.
What not denomination? What organization did they go with?
Team is called. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
Yeah. It's literally just called Team, TAM.
Okay.
And so, my dad went to Trinity, and
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Oh man, he did.
Yeah. Yep.
Like when he was your age, or like
a little bit older.
Okay.
Yeah. So he actually went to Northwestern at first. I believe I'm getting this right.
Okay.
And then he went to NDSU. That's for undergrad, and he finished undergrad with science teaching.
Okay.
And then he felt a call to missions, and so he went to Trinity, TEDS, for his master's in missions.
No way. Masters in missions. What a stud. I'm making a note of this because I knew that he was, your family was missionaries for a while, but I didn't know he went to TEDS. Anyway, that's great.
Yeah. And the funny lore behind that actually too is that my mom and my dad, I believe I'm getting this right, they met in Craig and Laurel's church small group.
Really?
Yeah. And so Craig and Laurel, I think Craig was done with I don't know if he was done at that point or not, but they had met in the church small group. And because my mom was only like 21 when she met my dad, and my dad was like 29. Okay. So they never would have met. Like, she was in undergrad biblical studies. So.
And your mom, biblical studies in her undergrad.
I think, if I remember right, I think my mom wasn't able to finish before they left. Okay. I think they left before she finished.
Like, as in left and went to the mission field?
Yeah, went to Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many years were they there?
So my dad was there. He was there during summers before he got married.
Okay.
And then I think it was about 5 years total with me and my older siblings. Okay. I was born in that time. So yes, guys, I was born in Japan. No, I don't have dual citizenship.
I love it because you just know these questions.
I get that question all the time.
A lot of other countries, to my understanding, don't pass out citizenship as much as maybe the U.S. does.
Yeah.
In conversations I've had.
Yeah. And especially East Asian countries, which go figure. So, what were we saying?
So, when your family went.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. So I was born in that 5 years. We left when I was 3. So I don't really remember much of it at all, actually, which is kind of disappointing. But I definitely grew up with that like influence of like I certainly eat more Asian food than the average Hendrum, Minnesotan kid.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah.
So then your family came back and then to Fargo.
Yeah.
And
so
then
we actually came back. We had our furlough in like Fresno, California for 2 months. And then we moved to West Fargo for a year.
Okay.
And I think the plan was to stay in West Fargo, but we were in a duplex and our basement flooded.
Oh.
And so then that's when we moved out to Hendrum.
Okay.
It was just needed a big house that was cheap, and that was a good.
Yeah.
That was a house that was big and cheap. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
What worship service and campus do you normally go to?
Yeah. So my family normally goes to the Fargo campus, the 10:45 a.m. service, being just far out of town. We usually come in that way. Depends if my dad is singing. My dad usually he serves with the worship team, so he'll be singing sometimes. I mean, I even remember as a kid, like sometimes I'd have to come with him early, and I would like take a nap in the choir room and just kind of moosh off the snacks or whatever. But
yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, being back this summer, what life group have you been involved in?
Yeah. So what life group? Well, I'll answer before this summer, I was actually in the young adults group.
Yeah.
This summer, I've been more plugged into the college group, the college ministry. Just being people my age, same walk of life. I'm a little older. I'm 23, but I'm still in college. So yeah.
No, it's awesome. And like when did you become a believer? Like what age, do you remember?
Yeah. So when I was 6, so I grew up in a Christian home, obviously at this point, probably make that clear. I went to Awana when I was a kid, and not actually here at Bethel, but actually it was actually at the school, but it was like another E-Free church in Ada, Minnesota had kind of came and done this Awana thing at our school. And so when I was 6, I had I still remember her face, this sweet old lady. She had the felt like sheep thing. And she was like explaining the gospel with sheep and with the animals. So I don't remember exactly what she said, but I remember going home to my mom at night and I was like, Mom, I think I'm bad and I think I need Jesus. I knew that I was bad. I knew that I needed Jesus. I knew that he was the answer. Yeah. And so I prayed to my faith in Christ that night. And then, so from there, it was really pretty stagnant until the end of elementary school. I was only really a kid. And so, and then my 8th grade year, I went to fall retreat with Bethel Student Ministries. And that was when it really solidified my faith. The youth pastor before Lucas preached the gospel very clearly. This was Castaway. This was fall retreat 2015, I think. Okay. For all of those that are listening that could remember, like the James Sailors out there. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So he had different letters and different boards. And so it was like on the stage, it started with me, and then it was mess, Messiah, and message, I think. And that's like kind of explain the gospel. And that Saturday night, I just was like, Lord, I need to surrender my life to you. This is what my life needs to be about. And so I surrendered my life to Christ there. That was really, I guess, I don't know how to theologically make that up. I think I was saved when I was 6. Yeah. So maybe that was like a rededication or just, a big solidification, but yeah. No,
that's awesome, man. And you've been, what areas you've been serving in at Bethel, maybe even your time at Bethel, not just this summer, but areas you found yourself enjoying serving alongside others. Yeah,
it's funny. This question is funny because one of the first things I got to do at church was I was a CD duplicator back in the day.
A CD duplicator. Yeah. Man, I think I've seen the machines that you were doing that on in the mailroom, actually.
That machine. Yeah, so me and my brother Luke, when we were younger, probably like not much older than Paisley, we did the CD duplication. So I felt like the most important person in the world.
That's awesome.
I would run and grab, so they would record the service, the audio on a CD. And then, so I would run to the sound booth right at the end of service and I would be like, oh, yeah, got it. And grab grabbed it from the person working in the tech booth, and then I would run down to the office and I would record it as fast as I can so that the church attendees could have it, like if they wanted to buy it right after service order. I can't remember if we would charge them or give it out, but yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
CD duplicator.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. I actually remember my dad being a singer, he was invited to the fiscal end year party.
Okay.
And I remember going one time, and I remember one of our old pastors, Pastor Mark, like this is like way back, but I remember being like, wow, it's so cool to see somebody serving so young. And I was like, sure, but I literally like push a button and 6 CDs come out. But yeah.
But it still mattered.
It still mattered. Yeah. Somebody else would have had to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with somebody who was a CD duplicator, so I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then since graduating high school, so a year after high school, I wasn't really doing anything to serve. Well, that was also kind of when the youth pastor before you, was like, encouraged us to like explore other churches as well. And so I think that was kind of why I wasn't a leader in the youth group right away, but pretty much right after that is when I became an intern. And so I became an intern the first time in August of 2021, I believe. And so, basically I've served in the student ministry since then, kind of on and off in the summers. And then obviously this summer doing an internship with you all again in the student ministries. So, yeah.
And then this summer was kind of more official because you had to have it for your degree at Moody.
Yeah. So I'm going to Moody Bible Institute for youth ministry. And I had to have an internship that met certain qualifications. And so this time it was actually an internship for credit, you could say.
Yeah.
So there was a few qualifications, like having to teach at least 4 times and having to do some sort of major planning / ministry project. So
Yeah. Well, good deal. Well, we're going to start diving into the conversation in terms of looking at, for you, like when God calls, I obey, a journey towards ministry. And so when did God place on your heart that ministry was where you were headed?
Yeah.
And that's not always like, okay, I get it. Now I'm headed that way. Yeah. Everybody's journey is different. Yeah. So let's hear your story a little bit about that.
So mine has actually been kind of, I don't want to say a lifelong thing, but it's been on my mind for a long time. I always knew growing up, well, coming from a family of missionaries, I think I had this idea, and now I've kind of come along. Now I've kind of had a more mature view. Anyway, I'll explain. So for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to do something more than just like a 9-to-5 job. I didn't really want to like go to NDSC or go to college and just like kind of, end up in an office. That didn't sound appealing to me.
And what about that? Like, is it just being indoors? Because I've heard lots of folks say that. So for you, like, what's the why behind that?
I think for me, it was in order for me to feel like I was totally sold out to Jesus, I wanted to be in ministry. And now that I've looked back on that, I've kind of seen like, okay, somebody can still be totally sold out to the Lord and work a 9-to-5. I think the big thing I've learned at Moody is that we're all called to make disciples, and we're called to make disciples in different ways. And so,
for sure.
Yeah. Somebody can make a disciple of their coworkers, or like I'm called to make disciples of youth. And so, so it's been, when did God place on my heart to go into ministry? It's been there for a long time. And then,
would you say, elementary, middle school, high school?
I think it was like elementary. Yeah.
Okay.
Once people started asking like, oh, I know it's a long ways away, but like, what do you think you'll do when you grow up or whatever? Yeah. I don't know if I can remember like specific moments there, but yeah. And really just, I feel like falling in love with youth group growing up too, really just solidified that. So yeah. And then for me, it was really also solidified with the internship before, because after graduating high school, it was COVID. I graduated in 2020. I had a drive-in graduation.
Oh my word!
Yeah, we all drove into the parking lot, and then the student in alphabetical order, would drive around, and just the student would get out. Yeah.
So, oh man, those days.
It was a wild time. You know, it's kind of ironic because a lot of us got out of our cars before this ceremony anyway. So it's like, okay, this isn't really helping. Small town Minnesota, they did not care as much, for better or for worse. So yeah. Anyway, so when I graduated high school, it was COVID. It's kind of a wild time. I didn't really know exactly what to do. I didn't really know about Moody. Well, I knew about Moody, but I didn't really think it was a viable option so much. I've known about Moody for a long time because my grandpa used to work for Moody Publishers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he worked there from like 93 to like 97 or something like that.
So your dad's dad or your mom?
My mom's dad.
So are they from the area? So
my mom's dad is like Scott. He is like an Air Force guy. So he was in the Air Force for like 26 years.
Yeah.
He used to do the midair refueling at one point in the Vietnam War. And then I think he was in charge of like a group of 120 people at one point. I think some like comms stuff as well, like communications stuff. But yeah, so my mom moved all the way around. And so, yeah, that was one of his jobs he did when he got back. My grandpa kind of got into Christian publishing. But so I always knew about Moody. But then after high school, I was like, well, I'll just go to M-State because it's like affordable. It could be very like, I guess ROI wise could be very good. Like the whole degree I think would have been like 10 grand, which is crazy.
And what degree was it?
It was IT.
IT, okay.
So I did a semester of IT there. But then Thanksgiving break hit and we had a second wave of COVID in the Fargo area. And they're like, we're going fully online again. And I was like, peace out. So I did not want to stay in that online school. It was not great. And so then I just worked for a while. And then I had a conversation with Stephen, the youth pastor before you, at Noodles and Company by church. A lot of great conversations happened there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And and so I was trying to figure out what to do for the next school year. There was actually this ministry school in Kalispell, Montana, that I had like found through social media, like connected with this church. I was considering that as well. And he was like, well, you could stay here, you could work, make some money, and you can intern with us. And I was like, thought about it. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like the best option. And so I did that for the school year of 21 to 22, basically. So, and then that internship was really solidified. Like, yeah, okay. I think God has called me to ministry, and I think he's calling me to youth ministry. So, yeah.
Have you ever told Stephen how grateful you are for his, part of your history? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, just, I'm already thinking, man, I want to send this episode to him just to encourage him. Hey, man, just to encourage you to, Anyway, that's, as you're talking,
no, it was definitely a somber goodbye. I remember us leaders, we went out to eat somewhere at the end of the school year and the time that he was here. So I definitely remember conversations there, but maybe I didn't super clearly say that.
Yeah, and it's all good. Just maybe worth,
just
hey man, I appreciate you. This is awesome that because the conversation you had at Noodles Company helped just solidify what the Lord was putting on in your heart. So anyway, something to think about. So so then, okay, had that conversation, you're interning, working a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the next step after that.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I can't just intern forever. And I was like, what's basically my question was like, what's the next best step? Like, and I think I just briefly looked online at Moody's website and I saw that they had a youth ministry degree. I was like, okay, that's an option. And so I had looked into it. And then honestly, like it was a lot of just, me, Lucas, like I was a little indecisive. And so I think I didn't really like fully decide that I was going to go until like challenge of 2022.
Okay. And that's
like July 3rd through the 8th.
And then school started like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But hey, it worked out.
It worked out. Yeah.
Now, were you at the Shields Arena watching that online?
No, this is 2022.
Okay.
This was in Kansas City, actually.
Okay, so you're physically, okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so, and it was like, honestly, like I had paid there's like a certain deposit they make you pay like once you apply, and I had paid that already. And so it's like, okay, I'm going. But it was like, because, big move away from family.
Yeah.
9.5 hour drive away. Didn't really have all the funds right away. So it was like, what am I doing here? So then, it was really, that next step was, I just kind of applied and got in. And then, honestly, I didn't visit or anything. And I was like, I think that's just where I need to be. And so just kind of went.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I remember the first time I went to that school, going from a town of 200 to downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, this is.
You look at one of the buildings and I'm like, okay, that's the tallest building in Fargo. And there's like 20 buildings taller than that. Yeah. At least.
Yeah. It's a little different.
Yeah. No, the thing that continues to blow me away about Chicago is, so when I'm there, I attend a Holy Trinity Church in downtown. It's a non-denominational church there. And my ride there from Moody goes on the Brown Line train, and it goes over the Riverwalk. If you don't know Chicago, there's a river, and there's the river that goes to the city. It's like completely concreted off, and there's like where the Trump Tower and all that is. And so my ride to church goes over that bridge, and I just look and I see like all these buildings, and I'm like, wow, I grew up with like
2 floors of that.
Yeah. I grew up like walking to my friend's house for Friday sleepovers, and like, going down to the river, and like, just on this random stuff. So it's like, it blows my mind. So
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand for sure. And so you went there in 2022. Okay. Yep. And then this is your senior year, right?
Yes. This year will be, going into my senior year. Yep.
I love it because I didn't know this, so maybe a year ago, but one of the guys I went to Moody with and played basketball with is your professor. And I was actually looking on their website. And so I just, anyway, that's
Eddie, Josh Edwards.
Yes. So it's just,
and that's actually kind of recent too. He was a youth pastor for 15 years. And then he became a real estate agent for like a year after that. But then he, kind of felt like called back into some kind of ministry and able to be a youth professor. So,
and even Robert McCrae.
Yeah, Bob McCrae.
He was there when because I was there 06, 2010 for undergrad, and his wife's still there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pam McCrae.
Pam, I had a discipleship class with her.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just he looks a lot different now because that was it was a long time ago for me. So
very bald now.
Yes.
No, and it's funny because he's so like he's like, just call me Bob. Like he's the youth minister.
I know, and as I saw his name on here, I'm like, I don't even know if I knew that was his first name until right now.
Yeah,
because we always called him Bob. Like Bob. So So when, looking at his name next to his picture, I'm like, that's just weird for me.
Yeah.
So
still teaching. Yeah.
Even I didn't know. I'm pretty sure it was Joshua. Had no idea that his first name was Joshua. Till like 3 years after knowing the guy, because we always called him Eddie.
Eddie, yeah.
So I was like, wait, your first name's Joshua? Like I just, it's one of those things. Just anyway.
And nobody knew about the Eddie nickname until you told me. And then he was playing intramural basketball, and we started cheering for him. We're like, "Go Eddie!" And, I think he kind of chose to ignore us there. But
that's funny. That's funny. Well, what kind of helped you embrace this calling in your life? Like steps that helped, or everyone's journey is a little different. So, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just a few things about youth ministry that were very, I guess a few things that are very appealing for me. So for one, or like when people ask me like, why youth ministry? And maybe this doesn't answer the question directly, but I think it helps. Yeah. So why youth ministry? One, I grew up going to youth group, 7th grade to 12th grade. And if there was one thing I could point to that changed my life the most, it'd be youth group. So through like God working through that, of course. Yeah. So I fell in love with youth group growing up, fell in love with the culture, like games and all of that. And just realizing, and then also realizing the importance of it. Like, statistically, if you don't graduate high school becoming a believer, chances are you go to a college that, chances are there, it's not going to happen. And so, and then also just the time in the adolescent's life, the time in a teenager's life is so important. I feel like that's where disciples are really made or broken. And then just what youth are facing today too. Like even talking to my younger siblings, even it's like, wow, you're talking about that at school now? Like, yeah, it's crazy. So
yeah,
I think for those things help me to embrace that calling. And I think just, again, going back to that, like I knew that I wanted to do more than with my life than just like work a 9-to-5 job and just make money. And that didn't really sound appealing to me. Which is funny because it might not sound like I'm the hardest worker, but I do try to be. It's just,
yeah.
Who
are some of the folks who've kind of helped you along this journey? You already talked about Stephen in that conversation. So that seemed like it was a very pivotal thing. Yeah. And even already mentioned like challenge.
Yep.
So I would assume there was a speaker or,
Yeah. Honestly, all the trips in youth group. Yeah. Like all the fall retreats.
Oh yeah. And even fall retreat you mentioned. Yeah.
All the districts, all the challenges. Cause I got to go on a lot of them, which was awesome. Somehow, even though my parents, I feel like paid for maybe half of them. I don't know. It's crazy. Some people, definitely Stephen, definitely my parents, definitely my life group leaders in student ministry as well too. Yeah. So
who were they?
Yeah. So middle school. So Jerry Saylor has been my life group leader all the way through.
I feel like that guy's been around for 500 years in a good way. Like totally.
Yeah.
Like saint. And,
I think he is the longest standing.
Miss Logan, 35, okay. But
Jerry's got to be close.
He's got it. Yeah. I need to ask both of them. Which one of you have been doing this longer?
Because now he has this group that they have right now is going into senior year.
Yeah.
And so as long as I've been here, this is his second cycle of 6 years of students.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was Jerry Saylor, very just gentle, humble man.
Yes.
I remember times that really inspired me from him. I remember just like going on a service project one time. He was driving there and he just starts praying out loud in the car, like with his eyes open. And
because he was driving. Those wondering, you know.
So, but I just remember him like prayer just felt so normal to him. I felt like it was just second nature. And he just starts praying for the people we're serving and what we're about to do. And travels. And so I was like, wow, this guy is so humble. I also remember a time where we had a Bible reading plan in the student ministry. And somebody, I think it was Sarah, Stephen's wife, asked like, okay, who has done this? And nobody raised their hand in the whole room except for Jerry. And I was like, wow, this is a man.
And you remember that?
Yeah. This is a man disciplined to God's word. And so Yeah. And so Jerry, definitely one of them. And then 7th and 8th grade year, there was actually an intern here before who was a college student at NDSU, Nick Connor. I don't know if you would know him at all.
No, I've never heard the name, so not yet.
But story sort of similar to yours from what I've gathered of he got saved in sophomore year of high school. Kind of a rough upbringing, but anyway, really had been on fire for the Lord. And he got involved with Bethel and with crew. And then, so he really mentored me, inspired me 7th and 8th grade year. I think he was one of the people I talked to that night at fall retreat, 8th grade year. And so, just very fun guy as well. Grady Cargus, we'll remember him very well. Yeah. So very buff guy as well.
He is a farmer, so he's
I'm talking about Nick, but
Nick, sorry.
Nick played football.
Okay.
So I don't know if he played at NDSU, but he definitely played. Oh, you know what? I think he transferred. to NDSU from Bemidji or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Bemidji. Anyway, so he has since gone off to seminary in Denver. Well, I mean, he's got to be done by now, and I think he has like a wife and kids. But
have you ever been like in touch with him since then?
Not really.
Okay.
A lot of us were like, we should go to his wedding, and then I don't think that ever happened. I mean, I don't think I really certainly didn't have a reliable car at that point. But yeah. So Nick, and then freshman year after. Oh, and a cool thing. Wow. Now that I'm thinking about gratefulness to Stephen. A thing I did get to do for Nick was he was a woodworker.
Okay.
He would make these amazing Adirondack chairs of wood. And I think Stephen's parents still probably have some.
Oh, wow.
Because we would like use them at the fire, the summer youth group.
That's awesome.
So I made him, in my 8th grade woodshop class, I made him this table, this like kind of nightstand table.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I was like, I'm just going to make it out of logs from my dad's wood pile. So there was 3 legs that were just like, honestly, kind of logs that were too thick to like whatever, but I sanded them down really nice. And then I don't even remember if I stained the logs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the top was just like a nice square piece of wood. And I like etched in with I think it was like literally just one of those like box cutter knives or whatever.
Yeah.
I etched in Hebrews 12.
No way.
2. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because one of his favorite verses was that, like fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. So, and I made him that table and gave him that the last summer youth group he was here. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. And then just Ben Coonley as well. Ben Coonley came my freshman year. And yeah, we've had a lot of deep conversations throughout the challenges and stuff. And a lot of hard conversations, but good ones. Yeah. And he's the one I've kept in touch with the most probably. So yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Those are it's cool to hear, multiple people.
Yeah.
And we're talking what, 7th grade through, so you're 13, 14, to 22. Like that's a short period of time and all those folks. Yeah. And I'm sure if you thought about it even longer, I'm sure there'd be others that you would even mention. Oh, yeah. So that's that's awesome, man. Yeah. That's super cool. And I love the fact that I know some of those people that are, Ben's still serving in youth ministry. And so that's Jerry. Yeah, man, that I can't tell you how many times I've been somewhere and then Jerry's like, we should pray.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Like dozens and dozens and dozens of times.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he drives a car from the year that I was born.
Yeah.
in 1987. I don't even know what it is. I just know it's an 87. Anyway.
He's very good at taking care of things.
Yes. Oh,
should see their house too.
Just a joy, man. Yeah. And so, I'm just thinking there could be some listening that are like, okay, why did you decide to go to seminary to prepare for youth ministry?
Yeah.
Like why that track? And so for you, what was the why behind that and your thought process?
Yeah. For me, overall, I felt like it was the next best step for me. I felt like to really get into ministry, it's, I guess, and part of it too is just like making my name known thing maybe, which is, I don't know, but
what do you mean?
Like to churches and to things like when you go to Moody, they'll have a lot of like internship fairs where people are there and stuff like that. And so it's like, well, if I stay in Fargo, like I might eventually get a job at like Bethel or something, but it's like, could be years and years. And so, but really it was, I just felt like seminary, I felt like this ministry school was, it's been tried and tested, like however many people before me have gone to ministry school, gone to Bible college, even hearing those stories at Moody.
Did your dad influence that decision at all? Even I could imagine he probably shared a little bit about Ted's, or maybe not. I don't know, but
yeah, I think maybe not as much as you would think, but I think it was definitely like, oh yeah, it's only like an hour from Ted's. Like, oh, that would be super cool if you did that. Like, yeah. And then, just knowing the biblical history of it and of Moody and how they've chosen to stand firm on the word of God and I just felt like, yeah, that education was going to be super helpful. And now after going there, it's been like, I just feel like my eyes have been opened again to like,
yeah,
there's so much like I didn't know before. And like, yeah, I've read a lot of books and learned it myself. Sure. But like probably in the span of like 10 years compared to the span of like 4. And having these professors, amazing professors to speak into me, it's like, that's huge. So these professors that studied for years and years and years to get their doctorate, like,
yeah,
we have one professor who was like flipping through archives in Germany in a library for like 3 years of his doctorate. And then he finally came across this thing that was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. And it's like, dude, that sounds so boring. But he had done that for years to get his doctorate. And so he's one of the history, or like he teaches history of world Christianity. So big history guy. But
which professor?
That's Dr. David Pappendorf.
Okay. I
think he's younger. I think he's actually probably not that much older than you.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. I remember June 11th of 2010, I started youth ministry.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, what in the world was this church thinking hiring me? Like, 4 years undergrad, and I still felt like I knew nothing.
Yeah.
Like now Moody, I think, does a great job preparing you for the theological, but also the practical.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for that. Like I look back on my time there and I'm like, man, I have zero complaints. I can't think of one thing that I did take a logic class that I absolutely hated, but I think I was the issue because I didn't get it. But
you do have to take one math class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
which is so nice.
So just,
I actually transferred in mine too. So I didn't even have to take a math class.
Yeah. So I think of those who like don't go to seminary, and I'm like, man, that has got to feel beyond overwhelming when you start. Cause I went and I still felt like, oh God, please help me. I know nothing. And,
like I feel like one of the first things I heard all the time my freshman year is like, nothing, like from professors, but in a nice way, but
not in a demeaning way, but it was, man, I look back and I'm like, it is a humbling experience. Yeah. The few grad school classes I'm taking now, I'm like, oh my word, Lord, like how I know nothing.
Yeah.
Like anyway, so it's a great way to be humbled.
Yeah.
Where do you feel the Lord's leading you kind of once you graduate seminary? You know, like, doing the best you can to think through that and process that. And so what are you thinking?
Yeah. I think serving in a local church as a youth pastor, I mean, just going back to, again, how much I was affected by a youth group, a student ministry in a church. I guess I want to do the same for others. And I feel like it's just God's plan. It's just the church. I really have a passion for discipling youth, for talking with them, having those deep conversations like I had when I was a student. Serving as a youth pastor in a local church. Yeah.
And right now our world needs more of them.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yes.
What would be, and you've mentioned some of the things already, but what would be some of the values or you talked about these big moments on trips, which is why I'm a huge fan of missions experiences, trips, sports camp, all of these things, because I'm totally convinced, especially in our culture today, it's hard to get a huge chunk of time where you're not distracted. And so huge fan. And I think sometimes people look at that and they see, well, you're just going on a trip, but it's more than that. It's way more than that. Or I think sometimes people look at youth ministry and like, all you guys do is hang out and eat. I'm like, well, kind of, but it's way more than that. Yeah. Like you gotta, we're trying to create a space here to have conversations and to pursue the Lord together. And so what were some of those values or experiences that you would say that this just was what helped me the most?
Yeah. Well, I'll share first from Moody and then maybe more from high school.
Yeah.
So from Moody, I've just been more and more convinced from the Bible and from my professors that mission of the church is to make disciples.
Amen.
So I think for me, a high value is I want to be at a church that's known for making disciples, that wants to make disciples.
Yeah. And not every church does that.
Yeah.
So
it's hard. Takes intentionality. Yeah. And, Josh Edwards, the professor, we talked about, that's very big with him too. And he's just talked a lot about the multiplication factor of disciple making, how if you make a disciple that makes another disciple, that's eventually just way more multiplication than And so that's a huge one. Another value is, the word of God.
Yeah.
Like exegetical preaching, all that kind of good stuff. I think my church in Chicago, that's been something there that I've really taken away, is the pastors there work with that.
And remember the name of that church again?
Yeah. Holy Trinity Church, Chicago, downtown. They have a campus more on the north side, but I think they're actually trying to turn that one into a church plant.
Okay.
Fully. So, and they actually, out of Holy Trinity, actually helped start the Charles Simeon Trust. They were part of that process. And
what is that?
Yeah, it's a program. It's a, what would you call it? They train pastors around the world in exegetical preaching, basically is what they say.
Wow. Okay.
So there's, there's John Dennis is the senior pastor at HGC still. And there's the other guy, David Helm. And I think there was one other guy, maybe
There's Solly Curtin is the executive pastor.
Yeah, he's not really one that started Charles Simeon Trust.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
He's the executive pastor. Yeah, him and John are the main two pastors there.
Yeah.
And then if you actually scroll down, you see Kevin Walker. I think it'll say assistant pastor for something. He is
associate pastor of ministry training.
Yeah. So he's not so much a pastor at HGC, but he's more so sent out from HGC.
Okay.
Because he is one of the main directors for the Charles Simeon Trust. And so
gotcha.
So he'll travel all around the world, really honestly, to train people in exegetical preaching. And they have a thing in Chicago as well that's like a crash course, but super intense, day. I think it's a 4-day-a-week thing. It's called the Chicago Course on Biblical Preaching.
Okay.
And you go and you basically all day. It's you're preparing, preaching, or all that stuff. So there's one guy at the church I know that's doing it, and he's a waiter on the side. And so I've talked to him a little bit about it. But
that's awesome. I feel like I know this Christian park.
You might. I don't know if he went to Moody.
I don't know why, but I may email this guy randomly later. So
yeah. He actually recently became in that role.
Okay.
I think because he recently was ordained Christian Park.
Okay.
So I believe it. Yeah, associate pastor. Yeah, recently ordained.
International Christian Communities and Sunday Services.
Intentional Christian.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, intentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So just what's help?
Those are values. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I want to look for in a church going forward.
Yeah.
And and I think trips are a huge part of my story too, and I think super valuable. Trips, I think, it's such an easy, maybe not easy, but it's such a clear chance for the speaker, for the youth pastor to preach the gospel, to share the gospel, and to take that undistracted time to okay, what is keeping us from the Lord? And so I think that's why trips are so powerful. And just so bonding to oh man, I could sit here for another hour and talk about memories with people like Ben Coonley and Grady Cargus about things we did. But
yes.
Yeah. So I totally agree there.
And how would you encourage others who, believe that God's calling them to ministry? Maybe what wisdom, biblical insight, hacks, advice would you give?
Yeah.
I've got, or we've got a few, another, Bennett going to Moody Online, and think of Eli, who feels the Lord's place on his heart to be in youth ministry. And so these folks are always on my mind, thinking about discipleship and multiplication. And in my mind, I'm like, man, if we have, and it's a humbling thing. Bethel, there's like 10 pastors who are at Bethel who are, I mean, they no longer have that title in terms of a job per se. But it's a I mean, the Rolodex is deep when I think about the amount of people who have been in ministry, who are in ministry, or even they're getting after it in ministries in our city. Like I could probably think of 40 or 50.
Yeah.
Maybe 30. Anyway, but just my point is, those folks I think about a lot, especially those who are your stage of life or younger. Hey, I think this is what God's calling me to do. Yes, sir. Here's what this could look like, and here's how to spur them on. And so what things would you encourage them with?
And I'm obviously biased, but I do think for real, if you want to go into ministry, I think Moody is a great place to be. Now they don't have all the degree options you might want, but
what would be some that they don't have? Would you say?
So they're definitely not. I guess if you want to go into ministry, you can do like
any of those.
Yeah, you can do, even if you're like not sure what kind of ministry, you could just go for biblical studies or something, and you could do that. So some that they maybe don't have.
Or thinking like you can't be a nurse. They don't have a teaching degree.
They're not a liberal arts college for sure.
Yeah,
on purpose. They're a Bible college. They're a ministry school for training. Yeah, the next generation. So I guess maybe that's not the best way of thinking about it. But I'm just hopefully you don't look and say like, oh, disappointed that you don't see it they have there. But they do have even like a communications degree. I know I have a lot of friends who they want to be a worship pastor, but they're like, actually, I'm going to do the communications degree because I can, to be honest, the Chapman Center, there's a building there where the comm majors can go freely, and there's like a recording studio and like all this stuff.
Moody Radio.
Which is really nice. Yeah.
Which I've never actually listened to. Yeah. Like older generations, it's a huge deal. Oh, yeah. But I've actually, is Moody Radio still a thing?
It's still a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I actually worked one of the caller campaigns during a spring break.
Okay.
While I was there. Pretty nice temporary gig. But and I had people calling. But but they do even have like a comms, human services, so like pre-counseling, elementary education. So I know a lot of people that I have one of my good friends, his wife is going to he wants to be a youth pastor. She wants to teach in a private Christian school. So
that's awesome.
What was the?
Just what would be the things that you would encourage others if they're thinking, they're middle school, high school, elementary, thinking, I may want to do this,
Yeah. And obviously, this should go without saying, but obviously, like, pray about that a ton.
Yeah.
I think back for me, and it was like, I prayed a lot about it, and I think faith is, seeing the Bible, that faith is like one of the spiritual gifts. And I think that's a spiritual gift that God has gifted me with. So I think I'm a little more like, okay, let's just do it. Whereas some of us might be like, well, so I would say, that pray a lot. And then I would say, ask yourself and ask God, like, where do you want me to make disciples? And have you gifted me in a way that I could be a really good engineer, and I could talk with my coworkers, and I could make disciples in that way? Have you gifted me in a specific area that maybe isn't ministry related, but I could totally still be obedient to making disciples in that way? So and then if you feel like I just want to learn more about the Bible, I want to learn more about theology, go to Moody. Go to do something like that. So.
And they even have I'm thinking of maybe there's some adults who got a career or they're going after it, and they just want more training. They even have certificate plans.
Yeah, they do.
And it's insanely affordable, crazy affordable.
They do really hard. They work really hard to make it affordable. Yeah.
When I was going there, 2006, 2010, they raised $300 million a year to make it tuition free.
Yeah.
And so I paid roughly $10,000 a semester. It's probably up to Sorry, a year. A year.
Yeah.
I paid about $40,000 for the 4 years, but it's probably
it's like
15, 18 a year now.
It's like, I think it's almost 8,000 a semester now.
Okay, so about 16.
Yeah.
So 6, 12, 18, 24. So yeah.
Because if you aren't aware, the way Moody works, kind of their vision from the beginning is that if you come and live on campus and you're on the meal plan, you don't pay tuition.
Yeah.
And so it's a tuition paid model. They wanted it to be, Emma Dreyer and D.L. Moody wanted it to be very affordable.
Yeah. And so you're just paying for room and board fees,
miscellaneous fees, and stuff like that.
Which is like,
and some of them are like even like I pay for the CTA pass, but you don't. And that's like the Chicago public transportation. You don't necessarily have to pay for that. For me, it works because my church is easier to get to that way. So.
Yeah. Remember that pass was $85 like a semester.
And it's unlimited.
Yeah. I was like, oh, bro, this is like really a deal. Because I don't know, $1.25 at the time maybe to get on the
and now
bus.
It's like $2.50.
Okay.
Yeah, each way. Yeah.
Which is still like nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about
all the infrastructure.
Yeah, and it works well.
It does.
So if you're in the Fargo area and you're thinking, oh, the train, don't compare the transit here to there. It's it's super legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I appreciate your conversation.
Mm-hmm.
How can, we be praying for you and those listening be praying for you headed into your senior year? Yeah.
First thing, just praying for a church, praying for a place to be at after graduating. So it's coming up soon. And this summer is really sunken in that reality of like, ideally I want to be a youth pastor in a year. So just praying for the right fit and place to be, God's provision there. God's provision overall too, as I finish out this school year. I need to pay for school and need to, hopefully become more financially stable after school. I mean, I've seen the Lord provide time and time again in my life, my parents' life already. So, I think those are the main two things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, appreciate you, Lucas.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the House on Fire podcast. Our prayer is that this podcast activates your home for Jesus. May the light of Christ burn bright through you and yours. Until next time.